Imagine being woken in the dead of night by the sound of artillery, screams, and chaos. It was February 25th, 1992, in the small Azerbaijani town of Khojaly. Families were sleeping, children were dreaming, and no one knew that within hours, the town would become the site of one of the darkest chapters of the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. But what happened that night? And why is the world still haunted by it today? The seeds of this massacre were planted in the late 1980s, when tensions between Armenians and Azerbaijanis in Nagorno-Karabakh spiraled into open conflict. The seeds of this massacre were planted in the late 1980s, when tensions between Armenians and Azerbaijanis in Nagorno-Karabakh spiraled into open conflict. Khojaly, a strategic town, became a target, its airport a lifeline for surrounding villages. Yet, for its civilians, Khojaly was just home, a home about to be shattered. By early 1992, Armenian armed forces, supported by Soviet troops, encircled Khojaly. Supplies were cut off. Hunger, fear, and uncertainty gripped the population. Residents begged for help, but help never came. Was this siege merely a military strategy, or something far more sinister? On the night of February 25th, the assault began. Heavy artillery fire rained down on Khojaly. Houses burned, streets filled with panic, and families clung to each other, searching desperately for a way out. Survivors recall the sky lit up by flames, as if the heavens themselves were bearing witness to the destruction. Thousands fled into the freezing night, hoping to escape through snowy forests. Mothers carried infants in their arms. Barefoot children stumbled through the snow, and the elderly struggled to keep up. But escape was a cruel illusion. Many would never make it beyond the dark woods. On the morning of February 26th, Armenian forces ambushed fleeing civilians. Entire families were gunned down. Others froze to death in the snow. Eyewitnesses described scenes of unimaginable horror. Bodies mutilated, women and children among the dead. In total, 613 civilians were killed, including 106 women and 63 children. The town had been erased. Perhaps even more shocking than the massacre itself was the world's silence. Journalists documented the atrocities, but international response remained muted. Why did such a tragedy, so brutal and clear, fail to ignite global outrage? Was it political convenience, or the indifference of a world already numbed by too many wars? Those who survived carry scars that never heal. Children who lost parents, mothers who buried their families in the frozen ground. They still remember the screams, the gunfire, the bitter cold of that night. Their stories are not just memories. They are warnings. Warnings of what hatred and silence can create. Decades later, the Khojaly Massacre remains a point of denial, debate, and distortion. Azerbaijan calls it genocide. Armenia disputes responsibility. But for the families who lost everything, the politics don't matter. What matters is truth, and truth demands acknowledgement. The words, "never again," echo across history, yet massacres like Khojaly prove how fragile that promise really is. How many more communities must suffer before humanity learns? How many more children must die before we truly say, "never again," and mean it? Khojaly is not just a story of death. It's a story of remembrance. It forces us to confront the darkest depths of human cruelty, but also the resilience of those who survived. If the world forgets Khojaly, we risk repeating it. But if we remember, truly remember, then maybe the voices of those silenced in 1992 will not have died in vain. This was Khojaly, a town wiped off the map, but not from memory. The question is, will we remember, or will we let silence bury the truth once again?